So I'm here with Sam, who has a foundation in the Philippines, and he's been working tirelessly exposing the corruption surrounding vaccines. Thank you for joining me.
You're welcome.
So please, educate the viewers on your foundation and how it came into existence.
Okay, well, for over 25 years, I've been working on a very special foundation, which is a sanctuary in the Philippines for women and children. And the reason I've been doing that is because I'm a traditional Chinese medical practitioner. I'm also a teacher in martial arts, and I've been doing that for more than 45 years. And what I've done is I've developed this in the Philippines because that's where a lot of people need a lot of help. And when it comes to the vaccines, I've noticed, especially with my own children, because all of my children are not vaccinated.
Excellent.
All of my children are all home birthed, water birthed, and all of my children have not seen a doctor and do not take drugs, because I'm actually the one who actually looks after them. But the important part about the vaccines is that I've noticed that all of my friends who actually had vaccines or gave vaccines to their children, all their children were all passive, they're always quiet, they always end up with ear infections, with all sorts of hives. They've always got a problem. And I've always wondered, why is it that my children were not just active, you just can't stop them from running around, and more importantly, why is it that my children, they can get measles, they can get the mumps, but I easily cured it with just giving them coconut water, giving them certain herbs.
So you've been focused on acupuncture and other natural therapies for over 3 decades.
Yes.
And the clients that you've had, the results they've received have been miraculous.
Yep.
Tell us about some of the testimonials.
Okay, well, you know, a lot of people tell you that they can't cure. Well, I tell you now that you can cure. I've been doing diabetes, high blood, I've been doing everything from asthma and including paralysis. And they all tell you it can't be cured. It can be cured. It actually is cured by acupuncture, herbal medicine, and your lifestyle. You need to change your lifestyle. This is very basic, but I'll be teaching this in future seminars as I carry on with my books and video release in the future.
That's excellent, and people have to realise to strengthen the immune system, it's diet, good nutrition and exercise, not toxic chemicals and not vaccinations.
100%. I say disease is only 2 things, a deficiency and toxicity. Everything else is immune response and your immunity. So I always say, as a barefoot doctor, prevention is your cure. And that's what I teach you. So, you know, whenever you have a question or you've got a problem, what is it that I need to do that's going to build my immune system? It's very simple. Stick to nature. Try to avoid not cooking. As soon as you start cooking, start using oils, you destroy the enzymes, you destroy the life, you destroy the water that's inside that gives you life. And all you need to remember is that the more closer to nature you eat, the more closer to nature you are. Walking barefoot, being in the sun, fresh air, in the forest, in the gardens, the more healthier you will be. This is a simple law of nature, and it's just so common and simple. I sometimes try to scream to people and say, hey, just take your shoes off and you feel what it feels like when your feet touch grass.
Be at one with nature, isn't
Yep.
it? Tell us about some of the seminars that you've got coming up.
Now, in the coming year, I've got seminars that are going to incorporate everything from acupuncture to herbal medicine to all information about vaccinations, childbirthing, to health, and also, more importantly, nutrition, diet. You can ask me any question you want. I've got 3 decades of clinical and client information and experience, and I'll give you all the information you need to know so that you can become your own doctor, because that's all you need to do. You don't need to worry about what anyone tells you to do. Just be your own doctor. Listen to your own conscience and listen to your own mind.
Excellent. And if people want to find out some of your work and they want to research more, how would they go about doing that?
Very simple. I've got 2 basic sites at the moment. I will have a website for the foundation as well. The first site is on Facebook, which is Sifujian Sam, the Barefoot Doctor, and on YouTube. I've got a YouTube channel called Sifujian Sam, the Barefoot Doctor, where I do my presentations, my workshops. I demonstrate to you acupuncture. I demonstrate the martial arts. I demonstrate everything from meditation to breathing, and even Tai Chi. Anything you want to learn, I will show it to you. I have nothing to hold back.
That's brilliant. Well, that's brilliant. Thank you for joining me today, Sam.
You're welcome.
And I wish you the best of success.
You're welcome.
Excellent.
Filming.
I'm here with Allona, which I'm sure a lot of you will know. She has been working tirelessly, exposing some of the dangers linked to vaccines. Thank you for joining me.
Yeah, thanks, Jeff. Yeah, nice to be here. Yeah.
So tell me a bit about your campaign, how you got involved with the movement, and some of the success that you've had highlighting the risks.
Okay, that's a really loaded question. It could go for a long time, the answer. My name's Allona Lahn, Natural Health Advocate, Freedom of Choice Ambassador. I stood for Senate in the last federal election for the Involuntary Medication Objectors Vaccination Fluoride Party.
Wow.
Yeah, and I've just started a foundation called Healthier Communities. And so I'm the spokesperson for Healthier Communities. Yeah, and so why I stood, or why I'm making a stand, is because back in 2015 when Tony Abbott announced no jab, no pay and no jab, no play, I was livid. Never had I been name called, bullied, intimidated, felt coerced, blackmailed than ever. Never in my lifetime. And so I objected to that. And when I started asking around and all the names that we were being called, I was like, well, how has this become okay? It's bullying.
Exactly.
And then the financial bribery on top of that was just, really? What country do we live in? So when I started reaching out, I went, oh my God, there's heaps of us. So I wasn't alone. And in fact, the movement is much, much larger than what we see. And I think the government have created a monster because people have had enough. We're just sick of the coercion, the discrimination, the fact that your children, if they aren't up to date with the 13 to 15 different disease injections, then they can't get into daycare and kindy. I mean, that's just terrible.
That's exactly right. People are forced against their will to vaccinate children, and there's disastrous results that a lot of parents are having. And the propaganda through the mainstream media, people are being brainwashed, and anyone that stands up against the vaccination policies, they get ridiculed and slandered, don't they?
Yeah, look, at the name calling, particularly by the media, I think it's been out of control. Some of the MPs as well. I mean, the AMA president back years ago called us flat earth, rusted flat earthers or something ridiculous. Coming from a professional, I just think that that's disgusting behaviour. And so, yeah, we definitely have been ridiculed. Personally, I haven't, and I think it's because really when you talk calmly and logically to people, the fact that we're injecting so many diseases and the fact that we are injecting disease along with the adjuvants and the ingredients, and you start talking to people, and what I've found is most people don't actually know what's been injected, how often, what's in it, or how many times. And unfortunately, that's what we're dealing with. We're dealing with a society that just goes along with what they're told rather than asking very important questions, and we need to shift that. We need 100%. To start,
It's very dangerous when people are misinformed and they believe they're doing the right thing by their family and themselves in vaccinating. And they're under false information, and that's causing catastrophe and harm. Trying to get the information out is very difficult. What would be your advice to parents that are forced to vaccinate?
Well, look, at the end of the day, forced is a strong word, because at the end of the day, theoretically, we have a choice. But as we know, that comes with the coercion and the bullying. So I think it's about standing up for your rights. I often get contacted by mothers that may be at a hospital or something like that. At the end of the day, no means no. And vaccination is not mandatory. And so I recommend to parents to say, you are harassing, I'm feeling bullied, I'm feeling coerced. Say that 3 times. At the end of it, if the doctor or the nurse or whoever it is doesn't listen, you report them to APRA. That's a governing body. And we need to start actually saying that and going, this is not good enough and this is not how we're treated. At the end of the day, we pay for a service, and as taxpayers, we demand a service, and we are there for the health of our children, not to be jabbed with disease. We go in there for another issue, and then they want to jab you with disease. Well, no. To all those parents out there that are a little bit scared, I believe that if we don't stop this now, then the future isn't looking that bright, because I do think that this is just the beginning, and we will have no jab, no travel. We will have no jab, no job. There will be no jab, no pension. I think that that's kind of inevitable. We can see the pressure. We can see, 100% vaccination rate is what Greg Hunt said about a year ago that he wants in nursing homes. So The agenda to mass drug everyone is very clear. So for those that can't see that, well, you need to see it because this is going to affect everyone.